just as many just over the limit drivers as heavily intoxicated drivers. So if you drive when you're just over,
I've just gone live,
you'll just get caught.
Just over, for those who just joined us live, I'm in the studio at Wow FM, and we're...
Okay, I've got a special message here, community announcement actually, about the City of Adelaide.
I could say that to my guys.
With 100.5 Wow FM and Selections, the Ready Music Mix on your Sunday afternoon. I'm accompanied by paranormal investigator Alison O'Bourne from Adelaide's Haunted Horizons and the weird one, Chris McAuliffe, in here today as well. You're streaming live too, Alison.
We have. We've just gone live on the Haunted Horizons Facebook page. So, because not everybody can tune in, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Now, for those outside the broadcast area, if you can't get it on the dial of 100.5, go in and connect us live at wowfm.org. Push the play button, you can hear us that way as well.
Yep, and you can ask questions by phoning a certain number.
Yeah, 8449 3007. Open up the lines if you got a question for Alison. Give us a call, 8449 3007. Speaking of which, I believe you had one there.
I do. You obviously went over to the US and did a little bit of looking around and a little bit of paranormal stuff.
Oh, we did. It's exciting.
You went to one place, I suppose, that anyone that has a bit of an interest in the paranormal would be on their bucket list, Waverly Hills.
Oh, God, yeah. That was my favourite. It was on my bucket list.
What was that place like?
Amazing. It's everything that you see on the shows. So most of the ghost hunting shows have been to Waverly. That's how I heard of it. So it's pretty much anybody who knows the paranormal knows about Waverly Hills. And yeah, we were lucky. We had to pay it was out of season, so they didn't have any tours running. They finish at August. So we did have to pay a lot of money to get it opened up, worth every penny. So there's just 3 of us there for the whole night. No guides, no nothing. It was just me, Beth Luscombe from Access Paranormal.
Yep.
And a friend of hers, Jeremiah from America there, from Kentucky. And it was just us 3 in this massive, massive big building.
Just to give people a bit of an idea, how many rooms are we looking at in this place?
I couldn't even get them. It's 5 stories.
5 stories?
And the hallways are they just go on forever.
They're just going.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It's huge.
It's actually designed from what memory, like a big wing. So it's not like straight.
It's kind of almost curved.
Yeah, curved.
Yeah, and it's on the top of the hill because they believe that fresh air, wind, would make them better.
Waverly was actually built for what purpose?
It was a TB hospital, so tuberculosis was a big problem.
It was pretty prominent in those days. A lot of people suffered from it, and as you said, they believed that by getting a lot of sunshine and fresh air, it would help cure them.
Yeah.
So inside the building, you're investigating, and was it like what we saw on the TV?
Yeah, well, we didn't have anything major happening. We had a few, but that's the same anyway. So, but we had a few interesting little things happen. But just the fear factor there is something else, because you are in this big building. It's very run down, so windows are broken, doors are hanging off, the paintwork's all kind of peeling off. And you're always aware of the stories that people have been telling about the place. There was one floor in particular, floor 4, which is where they have the creeper. So this black mass thing comes down the walls towards you and then just disappears as it gets there. Also, black mass in the hallway.
Did you see that?
No, I wish. I actually don't know how I would have reacted to that one. But I was talking to Ben Hanson, who obviously we caught up with while we were over there, and he said, he had a friend there who was investigating, and they watched this black mass come out the floor, and then it just disappeared. So that was always in the back of my head, and I was putting off doing floor 4 because I didn't know whether I had the guts to do that one. And I thought, no, we'll bypass 4 and go straight up to 5, and then the staircase finished at 4, and we had no choice but to walk down this really scary hallway to get to the staircase extension up to 5, so we did it anyway.
So tell me, when you're in a place like this, do you feel, is there energy in the place that you're feeling? And if so, is the energy because of an expectation you're thinking, because you know of this place before, and it's not because there are ghosts around?
It was interesting in the fact that, yes, obviously we've all heard of Waverly Hills, and my fear factor was quite high for that place. I'm not usually bothered by this stuff, but Waverly Hills is just huge. You hear all these stories. You're on your own in this huge, great building on your own. And interestingly, it was the opposite. I went in wondering if I could actually do it, because that was really testing my fear. And we ended up doing it all, and yeah, it was the opposite, I think, with all these expectations.
Okay.
I actually managed it quite well, and ended up doing photography and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah. Because as you said, you can go into a place and not necessarily something's going to happen. Or there may be something that will happen, it's just that one thing, and that will stick with you for the rest of the night. But you feel you went in there and you had these expectations of you're going to see figures.
I was going to have everything jumping out. It was going to be great. But we didn't. It's like anywhere. We got a very quiet night. We did hear a child. We were up on the 5th floor where the children were, and it was actually on the tour part. The guide's Mel was taking us around, and we did hear a child off in the room to the side of us. We all heard it was a disembodied voice. There was no child there, obviously, and that was where the children were. Downstairs, we had the doors bang, as in we were sitting near a door, didn't move. It was just like somebody had gone boom on the door like that while we were sitting there. So we had some interesting things. It was just small, which once you've done this for 27 years, you realise it doesn't mean anything. All it means is we were there on a quieter night.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get back next year.
Sure, you're going so you're
straight back
again.
Oh yeah, straight back to Waverly Hills next year.
Do you need someone to carry your bags?
Definitely. I would pay it all again and go again.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't just go to carry the bags. If you took Chris along, you'd certainly get some activity then. They'd tell you, what are you bringing in here? Get out!
And you also did the Queen Mary.
We did. It wasn't intentional. We actually just booked on the Queen Mary. Again, we left everything to the last minute, so we didn't sort it properly. But we talked very nicely to the concierge there, and he was pretty keen because he had never done it before. So we went down into the well-known pool room and took the equipment with us, and we were sitting in the changing room area and asking questions. Apparently a little girl being seen there, they call her Jackie.
Yep.
Now, it was coming up to Halloween, so they had all these like sensors that would set off voices because we're going to do a Halloween walkthrough. Now, the thing is, you've got to walk past these sensors. So we're sitting in this like changing room around the corner. Concierge is asking Jackie. He goes, Jackie, do you want to come out and play with us? Like that. And then one of the sensors goes off in the pool room, and it's the creepiest child's voice going, do you want to play with me? Like that. And it was just like... But the thing is, it went off twice.
Chris wasn't there.
It happened twice. The thing is, you have to walk past it to set and trigger it off, and there was nobody else in the room. So it was interesting. I'd like to get back to the Queen Mary.
It's an interesting one too, because on the Ghost Adventures documentaries, when they went to visit there, they had the same thing that you just described yourself, where the little child's voice was very clear. They actually recorded it. They didn't have to record it because it was so audible from the ear. Like, what was that? Did you hear that? Yeah. So you definitely got that sort of...
It was interesting.
Yeah,
exciting.
Interesting too to explore an abandoned ship.
Yeah, well, it's not abandoned, I suppose, now. It's a museum and a accommodation place, but it's magnificent.
Yeah.
It is magnificent, and it's got such a history behind it.
Absolutely. Because
So,
during the wartime, they used that as a hospital as well.
yeah, and a troop carrier. It was known as the Grey Ghost. They actually painted it Battleship Grey. And Hitler actually put a bounty on it because none of his ships or submarines could catch it because it was so fast.
Yeah.
So he actually put a reward on any of the other ships and submarines that could bring the Queen Mary down.
Yeah.
So it's massive history. Churchill travelled across to America during the war on the Queen Mary.
Okay.
So
yeah, all right. Well, we've got some more questions I want to ask you. We'll get into another track, but give anyone the chance to ring in if they like. That's got a question to ask, or they can ask you on your Facebook.
I'm not watching it, but
Adelaide Haunted Horizons Tours. 84493007. You can give us a call if you like. If you've got a question for Alison on the paranormal side of things, got some more questions for you, Alison. Stay with us. Your selections on your Sunday afternoon. The Great Music Mix on 100.5 WOW FM. As I said, you can also tune in via the internet. Get connected live at wowfm.org. I'm joined by Alison Osborne from Adelaide's Haunted Horizons.
You had to think about that one.
I did, and that's because Chris is...
Mental blank.
You know, when you sit here across from Chris, you've got to understand it's a pretty scary sort of sight.
Sorry, I'll put my torch away.
Thank you, matey. Look, stop bragging about how big the torch is. Now, some interesting points, Alison, and I want to ask you some questions that some of those skeptics out there might ask, or somebody that's never been on a ghost tour and that sort of thing. So, what is you as a person, being an investigator for the last 27 years, what is your perception of the paranormal?
Oh, look, I mean, everybody should be sceptical and not just take in that everything is ghosts and everything is paranormal, because there is quite a lot of natural explanation for a lot of the stuff we experience. So we do try and keep it that way. But without a doubt, I'm in these places all the time. I'd be in these places, haunted locations, probably more than a lot of people, so 5-6 times a week, maybe 4 or 5 hours a night, if not more. And if anything goes off, I'm going to be there. And I need the big things that are really, really hard to explain. And without a doubt, we've had stuff happen that I don't know what it is.
You can't explain it.
I can't explain it.
See, that's the other thing too, is that looking from another perspective, paranormal doesn't necessarily mean it has to be spiritual, does it?
Oh, look, a lot of things come into the paranormal, yeah. It's kind of the more unexplained.
Or abnormal?
Yeah, well, we used to know it as supernatural once upon a time.
Okay, so how many things do you think, when you go in to do an investigation and you get certain things that are happening, or you may get a voice or something like that, how convinced are you that, yes, that was definitely from the other side, or no, that was something else?
You see, I never put my neck on the line and go, that was a ghost. All right? It just means that I've got no explanation for it at this stage. But there's a lot of stuff we got years ago when we first set up here, Paranormal Field Investigators, because Haunted Horizons is only a recent thing from 2010. And a lot of the video footage and photos that we took then, that we put out there, like everybody, oh, these are great, this is a ghost, this is, it's wonderful, it's really exciting. As software came along and improved, when we took the old stuff, had a look at it, what we found is we can now find a natural explanation for it.
Sure.
So to say, we would have said it was a ghost, full stop, bang, wonderful. But now we can look back on it. And to put your neck on the line and say this was definitely a ghost, down the track we might be able to explain it.
So would it be fair to say you're like a lot of other people, even though you're a paranormal investigator, you're like a lot of other people, and you're just not going to be convinced until the ghost comes up and shakes your hand and says, hello, my name's Freddie.
From
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm convinced there's stuff going on that we can't explain yet. Definitely, without a doubt. What it is, I keep going from theory to theory. I think the problem is we've got all this stuff happening and we're trying to put it into one box. So we're trying to take that over there, residual, intelligent haunting. We're trying to put it in one box going, well, that's what it is. And I think there's a lot of different things happening that we're just not explaining yet.
Okay, so it's an interesting concept, though, that when you go into a organisation, into an establishment to investigate to see if there's any activity within the establishment, and you'll get bangs or you'll get noises, voices. Those voices you get from your digital equipment, okay? How accurate is the equipment, and what sort of equipment do you use?
Look, we try and use better quality stuff. We try and use, we do use the Zooms as well, which is good quality audio. But when we're looking back, we always have cameras trained on us. So there'll always be a video camera on us. So if I listen back to my audio, and suddenly I've got this voice on there that I haven't heard at the time, and it doesn't sound like us, I can go back to the video, have a look at what we were doing at the time, because sound is an artifact can sound like a voice. So we can go back and see if we moved or if we did anything or if anybody did talk or whisper under their breath. So we try and keep it monitored at all times to see if there's anything else. I found a great EVP the other day, which is electronic voice phenomena, and it sounded on the video camera, it sounded like a male voice going, "The cell," like that. And I got so excited. It was just like, oh my God, I've got to put this up on Z Ward. Then I went back and looked at another recording device, and what I found was it was actually CAG going, "I'm going to shut the cell door." But on one recording device, it sounded like a beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
And on the other one, you could hear clearly who it was.
So
you've got to be very careful. This is why we have a lot of equipment running, so we can double check on things.
Stay with us. Some more in a minute, right after these short messages.
As you get older, it's important to consider a range of care.
You're going to come on, Janine.
Recent changes.
Okay, just hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on. Not on you yet. Give me 2 seconds.
This includes more support to help people stay independent in their
Now, are you guys all right keeping watching this, or do you want me to turn it off?
Who want to know more about these changes are encouraged to...
Caller on the line. Hello, Janine. How are you? I'm doing well. What are you doing today, girl? Yeah, and how are you finding it so far? Got it, mate?
Oh, yeah, you would.
And you got a question for Alison today. What's your question?
Oh, all the time. It's great because generally, we had people last night who got things happening in their house. The good thing about the tours is everybody wants to tell us their stories as well, and it's great listening to them. And you get a lot of people who say, "My house has got something in," and I keep saying we should take some tours there then.
Yeah, so
get my own tour going around everybody's house.
When that happens and somebody says, "Look, I think my house is haunted," where do you take it from there? What happens?
I do run a research team, so tours aren't all my business. It's paranormal field investigators, so I still get calls from people with homes. We can't get rid of anything, so we're more nuts and bolts with the equipment, but the first priority for me is to get that fear factor down, because people are scared of it, whether they've got something in their house or not, I don't know, I haven't been there, but they believe they've got something and they're absolutely terrified. So my first priority is bring that fear down, because while they're afraid, it's affecting their life. So first thing I would do is say, well, if you have got something in your house, then just remember that if you or me, well, we will one day die, but when we die, it doesn't make us bad people. So the chances of you having a serial killer ghost in your house is going to be minuscule. Yeah. It's probably just somebody who used to live there, some normal everyday person. And we try and bring the factor down that way. Maybe just give it a name, tell it to leave you alone, have boundaries. My sister used to have a ghost in the house who they called Mrs. Miggins. So they gave it a name. And obviously once you give it a name, it's like an animal. You humanise it. It stops becoming that scary thing. It becomes, you can actually...
identity.
Identify it.
That's it.
So then it becomes like human.
It's an interesting point that you make too, is that it may be somebody that lived there. Now, when Mum and Dad built their house, there was no house on the property. There was never ever a house on the property. And I remember very distinctly when I was about 14 years of age, and in the bedroom, I'd just gone to bed and turned out the light, and I heard on the other side of the room this little girl crying very clearly, and I heard this voice say, "Don't worry, everything's going to be all right." Now, there was never ever a house built on that property. There was never an establishment or a structure on that property ever before. But obviously, whoops, Janine's gone. Obviously,
she's given up.
She's given up.
Obviously, down.
There's something that could have that could have happened at that site.
But you say there wasn't a property there. Yeah, it could have been something that happened there. But do we know that settlers? If you go right back to settlers, going through. They could have had tents. They could
Yeah.
have had huts. You
that's
just
what I'm
don't
saying.
know, what was there.
We know there wasn't. When I'm saying there was never a solid
Yeah.
structure there, right? Yes, there may have been camping sites or something way back in the day, but very, very clear. It could have been something from those times, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. So interesting. Going back to that question that Janine was asking about people saying I think my house is haunted, and you've done an investigation. Have they been haunted, or has it been explainable?
Look, most of what we found when we went out there is a lot of explanations. You know, people hear footsteps coming up the hallway, but then you find that the wooden floorboards tend to contract at night with the change in temperature, so you would get that clack, crack, 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 and it does sound like footsteps. We went to one house that she was in one room, she was feeling like she was being watched. She was very paranoid about being watched. She was seeing those peripheral shadows in the corner of her eye. And then we went in there with the EMF detectors, which picks up the electric, especially if you've got leakage as well. And what we found is where she was sitting on a sofa, right by her head was a massive amount of EMF. So they had a booster aerial coming down through the wall for a start off, and there's a lot of things converging in the wall. It's been shown that high amounts of EMF can actually give the same symptoms as a haunting. So you get that feeling of paranoia, that feeling of nervousness, that feeling you're being watched. So whether it was just that. So sometimes, you know, you look a bit deeper under the surface and then you find a bit of more of a natural explanation for it.
Sure. 4:47. We'll get into some more of the questions and a little bit more on the paranormal side after a couple more tracks. Now I have to play this because if I don't, Chris is going to sulk all night and throw a tantrum. So, for you and Chris, I thought I'd play some Nightwish.
Awesome. Which one? Oh, my favourite.
Your selections on your Sunday afternoon.
Good music.